Welcome all to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to learn about soil and its components. So one must know first what exactly soil means, and later the soil components we will look at. So soil is the covering on the solid incrust of the earth land mass. Soil is made up of broken down rock materials of varying degree of fineness from parent rock due to different kind of erosion caused by the weather. So this is the breaking down the rock material to the fine structure, that is sand, or we can say slate or clay, by weathering, the process which is caused by the environmental effects such as heavy rain, and this process took very long period. So some of the definitions given by the scientists we are going to look at. Bookman and Braid define soil as a dynamic natural body on the surface of the earth in which plants grow, composed of mineral, organic material and living forms. So what they told, so soil is a dynamic natural body which is on which the plant grow, and basically it is composed of minerals, organic materials and living forms. Joff and Marbert defined soil as a natural body developed by natural forces acting on natural materials. Yes, so in this definition they have mentioned the natural word. So all this process caused by natural physical activities such as natural forces acts on the natural material. So what are the components of the soil? The soil consists of the four major components, so that is mineral matter, organic matter, soil air and soil water. So what are the ideal composition of all of these? Mineral matter is 45%, organic matter 5%, soil water 25% and soil air it is 25%. The use and the function of the soil depend on the amount of each component. Yes, the use and the function is solely depend on the amount of each of the component. So component varies, the purpose also going to vary. For example, a good soil for growing agriculture plant has about, as I told, the ideal concentration of mineral is 45%, 5% of organic matter, 25% air and 25% water. Such a soil is good for the growing of the agriculture crops. Plants that live in wetland require more water and less air. Yes, the plants that live in wetland such as rice, we can say, they require more water percentage and less air. Soil used as a raw material for bricks need to be completely free of organic matter. Yes, for its compactness, the bricks needs to be free from the organic matter. So this is the pie chart for a simple understanding the four components of the soil and its ideal percentage. You can see at the right side they are mentioned as solid entity as 50%, and in the left side the pore space is 50%. So pore space include the water and air, and solid entity includes mineral matter and organic matter. So coming to the next point, macroorganisms like rodents, insects, worms and microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, algae live in the soil in large number. Yes, this we know. There is a three-phase system in which the mineral and organic matter forms the solid phase, as I told. The water containing salt and some gases in solution is the liquid phase, and the various gases forms the gaseous phase. In this, the water containing salt and some gases are the major ones because it forms the solution soil solution. The soil solution major function is it deliver the nutrients to the roots from the soil. So it is an intermediate material for the nutrient exchange. Each phases contain a number of constituents which make the whole system highly complex. On the account of the changes continuously taking place in the soil, the system is never in equilibrium. Yes, here we can see the picture which mention the various components as water, micropores, salt minerals and organic matter. So this is the complex system, and it is varied for their individual percentages. So coming to the first component, that is mineral matter. The mineral matter are extremely variable in size. Some are as large as the smaller rock fragment. Others, such as clay particles, are so small that they cannot be seen without the aid of an electron microscope. Also, the mineral matter consists of the elements which are required for the roots or the plant growth, such as phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, or their complex form, sodium, chloride, calcium, like that. Next, organic matter. It represents the partial synthesized plant and animal residue. As we know, organic is the compound which is made up of solely natural carbon and hydrogen. Also, the direct contact between carbon and hydrogen makes the compound organic. So it represents the partial synthesized plant and animal residue. So this is solely the decomposed material from the plant debris and animal wastage. Such material is continuously being broken down by the action of the soil microorganism. So there are various microorganisms which act on the soil plant debris and animal waste. So broken down it and made a nutrient available to the plants. Organic matter influences soil properties and consequently on plant growth. It improves the physical condition of the soil. It increases the water holding capacity of the soil and is a major source of nutrient for the plant. Yes. It is also a main source of energy for soil microorganism. Coming to the next point, soil water. It is a major component of the soil in relation to plant growth. As we know, water is the major constituent of any creature on the earth crust or below the earth crust, microorganism also, and also sea organs. The water is held within the soil pores. If the moisture content of the soil is optimum, then the plant can readily absorb the soil water. Yes, here they are telling that where exactly the water is stored in the soil. So this place is called soil pores. As we saw, soil pores are of two types, that are macro and micro. So micro, also called the capillary pores. Not all the water which soil hold is available to plant. Much of the water remain in the soil as a thin film. Yes, not all the water is available for the plant to absorb. Many of the water is leach or drained down to the earth below earth crust. So soil water dissolve salt and make up the soil solution, as I told earlier, which is an important medium for the supply of the nutrient to the plants. There is an exchange of nutrient between soil solids and the soil solution, and then between the soil solution and plant. As I told, this is the medium, so it transfer first the nutrient to soil solid to soil solution, then soil solution to plant through roots. Next component, soil air, a part of the soil volume that is not occupied by soil particles known as the pore space is filled partially with soil water and partly with the soil air. The pore space is occupied by both air and water. Volume of the air varies inversely with that of the water. As the moisture content of the soil increases, the air content decreases, and vice versa. So it is inversely proportional. If the water increases, the air ultimately decreases, and if the air increases, the water will be decreases. Soil air has a marked effect on the plant and root growth, including microorganism, plant nutrient formation and their availability. As we know, air is the also major component for every creature of the earth. The content and composition of the soil air is determined to a large degree by the soil water relationship. It contains a number of gases: nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and water vapors. Soil air differ from the atmospheric air several respects. First, soil air contains greater portion of the carbon dioxide and lesser amount of the oxygen. But in atmosphere, it is reverse. The oxygen is more as compared to the carbon dioxide. Soil air has higher moisture content than the atmospheric air. Yes, the soil air is more moist than the atmospheric air. So this is the soil texture, which is divided into three components: sand, sleet and clay, which we will going to see in the next lecture. And their sizes have been given and their readings also given. So gravel is the most biggest, that is more than 2 mm. Sand is 1 mm. Sleet is less than 0.5 or between 0.05 to 2 mm. And clay is very much smaller, invisible entity, that is less than 0.05 mm. So this we will going to see in the next lecture. Thank you for cooperation and hope you enjoy the video. Thank you.